A new Mario Party is here, and that means every YouTuber under the sun is rushing to not play it. I love stupid challenge runs like these, so I thought I'd give it a go. So this is the story of how I won Yoshi's Tropical Island by doing absolutely nothing. The rules are pretty basic: pick Luigi and don't do anything. Press A to advance if needed, and close your eyes while picking from roulette. Always pick the default option, blah blah blah, it's fairly obvious. There's two main gimmicks on this board, one of which is more annoying than the other. When any of the green exclamation spaces are landed on, Bowser and the star space will swap places. This can lead to some self-sabotages, where Luigi will be forced past the swamps to the star, land on a happening space, and then be as far away from the star as humanly possible. The second gimmick is the swamps that block the bridges between the two islands. The fee to pass increases every time someone passes through, but both the CPUs and Luigi will always pick the smallest possible fee, so it never gets especially drastic. With everything explained, let's begin recounting how Luigi won by doing absolutely nothing. Leave a comment guessing how many attempts this took me. The number will be revealed at the end of the video. Let's go. Due to the layout of this board, the most ideal scenarios for getting an early star are as follows. You either want to get further than everyone else, or behind everyone else. If you're ahead of everyone else, you can nab the star in just a few turns. If you're behind everyone else, there's a good chance someone will land on a happening space and switch the star onto your island while they're all milling around with Bowser. Starting off the first turn, Birdo and Wario cross the bridge to Cantaloupe Island, while DK and us hang back with the watermelons. Avoiding the item and lucky spaces was especially lucky due to how items work in this challenge. When an item is collected, Toad forces you to use it next turn, and it becomes the default option. After that, items will never be the default option again. In other words, we can only ever use the first item we receive, and we have to use it at the first possible opportunity. Minigames go about how you'd expect. Luigi doesn't do anything, and nothing gets done. This reminds me of group projects at school, to be honest. In 2v2 minigames, the winning players get 10 coins and the losing players get nothing. Minigames are very dangerous because they're a prime way for our opponents to get coins while we're just struggling to afford stars. On turn 2, Donkey Kong got a high enough roll to reach Cantaloupe Island, but nobody switched the star location to be in our favor. Luigi rolled a 4 though, which still puts him behind the bridge, still yet to make a decision on which island to go to. The ideal situation here would be for DK or Birdo to land on the upcoming happening space, forcing the three of them to be stranded with Bowser. This would also drain their minigame coins while we take the star from Watermelon Island. If you're wondering why we wouldn't be forced to follow them in that hypothetical scenario, the default option in the cross section is always the one that takes you directly to the star. So if Luigi had rolled even one more this turn, he would have been forced to go to the right, but if the stars had been swapped, he'd be forced to go up. The next minigame was Honeycomb Havoc, which Luigi can actually participate in. When the timer runs out, Luigi will automatically jump and hit whatever number is currently shown. With a bit of luck, he managed to get third, which was a bigger deal than I initially thought. Sadly, none of the CPUs switched the stars, which meant that Birdo could get her first star, and DK could get coins from a lucky space in preparation. However, because Wario came last in the minigame, Luigi successfully blocked him from being able to afford the star. Wario also chose to steal coins from DK, meaning Luigi still had a decent shot at affording the star when being forced onto the island. Sure enough, when he was forced onto the island, he got coins from a lucky space. Things were finally starting to fall into place. The minigame was Messy Memory, which the computer players are awful at. Turns out, not doing anything still guaranteed you at least a point, but the other players unfortunately did take part in the minigame, so it didn't get us very far this time. On the plus side, DK didn't do well enough in the minigame to reach 20 coins after Wario stole from him, so Wario actually blocked him from getting a star next turn. However, disaster struck, as Conky Dong took revenge on Luigi for his terrible performance in the first minigame. He thrusted a cursed dice block into our face, which limits our rolls to just 1 to 3 on our next turn. Yeah, get on that Bowser space where you belong, absolute dickhead. Give half of your coins to Bowser. Oh, what a shame. Let me pretend to cry. Birdo also decided to join him there, but unfortunately she didn't lose her star to the roulette. She did lose all her coins though, which I welcome wholeheartedly. But our bad luck hadn't ended yet, as Wario whacked himself onto an event space, switching the star's location to the other side of the map. Funnily enough though, the cursed dice block actually increased our odds of switching it back, but it sadly wasn't enough. While we're here, I should probably mention why running into Bowser is so much worse in this challenge. Bowser had a pretty high chance to take a huge sum of your coins in exchange for a cursed dice block. Because it's an item, Toad forces you to use it on the next turn, and the default option is to use it on yourself. It's also just really hard to earn those coins back since we don't typically win many minigames. Just take a look at this next one. These guys might be stupid, but 30 seconds is plenty of time for them to figure out what to do. Turn 5 rolled around, Wario made great progress towards the star, and nobody switched the star back to its rightful location. But against all odds, Bowser gave us a stupid inflatable rather than a cursed dice block, meaning we somehow managed to escape without wasting our items for the match. In my experience, it also seems to be much rarer for Bowser to give the inflatable instead of the cursed dice block, so I really lucked out there. But the minigame went about how you'd expect. Now, entering the second half of the game is always extremely scary. In Mario Party Superstars, the bonus awarded at the start of the final 5 isn't guaranteed to go to last place. It can go to 3rd or even 2nd place. Additionally, even if it does go to last place, it could be a useless item that we're forced to use on the spot. For example, a gold pipe would normally be a fantastic item, but not when you can't afford a star. Thankfully, Urchin chose last place for the bonus, and we were awarded with 20 coins instead of an item. On turn 6, DK crossed the bridge towards the star, but Birdo sneakily stole his coins and swapped the star back to our island. We also got our first opportunity to steal coins, and the default option was Conky Dong. Boo managed to steal 15 coins, which is extremely good, and we narrowly avoided the Bowser space as well. But despite our good odds this turn, our chances of victory were looking slim. In the next 4 turns, we needed to not only reach the star before someone swapped it back to Watermelon Island, but also prevent Birdo from reaching it. And we also had to do decently in minigames, which isn't really in our favor either. Thankfully, next with a 2v2, and DK actually carried us through Handcar Havoc, increasing our coin total all the way to 65. And Birdo swapped Bowser back onto our island. Great. She also swapped the star back to Wario's island, which she got using a custom dice block. But then, this happened. Now, I've never landed on a chance time space before, so I wasn't really sure how it worked. I started the event by closing my eyes and mashing A. Wow, this had the chance to be good. I expected Luigi to move to the next block automatically, but he clearly wasn't doing that, so I held left while my eyes were closed, and bam! Oh my god. All of a sudden, there was a 2 in 3 chance of me stealing a star. I moved to the right, closed my eyes, and... no way! I kid you not, I was so excited. While we only had a 30 coin lead on Wario, he only had 3 more moves to get those coins. Finally, there was a chance of victory. The next minigame was a coin minigame, and Wario only collected 2 more coins than I did. DK unfortunately managed to get a star on his turn, but he still had nowhere near as many coins as I did. Birdo swapped the star back to the island I was on, and Wario wasted his warp block on Donkey Kong. All of a sudden, there was a chance of getting a 2nd star. However, the coins were more of an issue than I thought. Even though the computer players mostly ignored me during the minigame and I somehow got 2nd place, Wario was still catching up to me in coins. Final 2 turns now, and Donkey Kong joined our island. And he also had enough money for a star, so this was getting very scary. Birdo also managed to get her star back, meaning we all had a star now. And she landed on an event space and swapped the star again. But then, this happened. Oh, also, Wario beat us in the minigame and knocked me down to 2nd, which, look, there's a chance. It's time for the final turn. I was physically shaking, which is kinda sad. But I haven't revealed how many full games of this board I sat through yet, so trust me, it was justified. Donkey Kong rolled a 3, landing him on a blue space and locking him out of getting a 2nd star. Birdo rolled an 8, chose to steal coins from Wario, which knocked us back up to 1st, and then swapped the star back to our island. This was all on Wario. If Wario landed on an event space, Bowser would be back in front of us, and we would lose. Absolute insanity. With that, Luigi secured his victory on Yoshi's Tropical Island by doing absolutely nothing. Time for a victory lap. So how long did this take me? 11 tries. That didn't sound like much, but oh god. Each game takes about 30 minutes. Some took 45 because I thought maybe 15 turns would benefit me more. I know other YouTubers will probably be doing videos on this too, but I honestly really enjoyed making this, and I'd love to stream future attempts on other boards on my Twitch for anyone who wants to come and hang out. Anyway, subscribe to be a superstar and all that stuff, and I'll see you around.